So, turns out I actually didn't have a buy round for the first time in a minute. I'm thinking it's because of pre-check-ins, but aside from that, like this section of the tournament usually involves the most brain power in most cases. Like top 128 and all the way to top 32 is usually where you're supposed to pay the most attention because there's always somebody who's like low key locked in and might be ready to take you out early. So in this case, I was fighting against Shadow Q, and this is like one of the people who actually could have done it for me. We were about to go even in the first game, and actually no, we did go even last game, and it went last stock red, and thankfully I did win. And I forgot how exactly I did it, but I just know that it came from like a really like flimsy interaction. And then after that, it was just a last stock orange. Like, for those who already don't know, I don't like fighting against sword. So when I fight against Jiro, thankfully I have enough experience with Jiro to just be like, okay, this is fine. Like I'll be able to lock in, and I'll be able to actually like handle this better. Um, Fighting him wasn't hard in a way, or it wasn't as hard as it was supposed to be. Funny enough, after this set, I was asked for, I was like asked for advice, just like what might have went wrong. The usual happens at the start of a tournament. I just fight somebody in like 1700 or whatever, and we just move forward from there. Now, top 128. Thankfully, we're starting to make some progress. The first thing on my mind while we're getting here is I just hope I progress properly. That's really all I'm really looking for. Now, Sandstorm's Seed 1 bracket. You have to fight Sprite for top 32, so it's already, realistically, it is already smooth sailing for this guy when we're considering who he's fighting against next. So, congrats, I guess. And Balloon Boy, actually one of the big stars of the tournament. I'm not gonna lie, bro, like, too much potential. I will say, though, like, his router is like so strange. I don't know how to explain it. I've just been more conscious of his movement because it's relatively laggy. But enough about that. Now let's talk about this set. I'm gonna be honest, guys, like we traded for sure. What happened was when I was fighting, it turns out when you play Moonin, you have this mental block against Taros that's just so great that you give up so much space in the middle of those interactions. In the middle of those interactions because like you don't want to get hit. I mean, it's 4 defense, but 4 defense is so popular right now in North America that I couldn't be bothered to care. That's like why it bothers me so much. And yeah, we just win traded for a little bit. Game 2 was a disaster. I lost or won by a hair, by an actual hair. I'm not gonna lie, like it just went last stock red. I went for the last hit interaction. So I went for the ground pound. A little bit risky, but we were on Demon Island and he had no resources. Point was, like, he could have covered himself with the nair, but he didn't go for it. So it was just a leap of faith for me, but I won. Game 3 I lost. I was kind of losing my mind, like here. And then game 4, he had a lead, but your boy locked in. Well, technically speaking, I did lock in. And game 5, like, I was just completely well adapted at this point. I locked in, like, Scythe, and I just really started expanding on my lead. And anytime I had Bow, I would just constantly push him away from me in the stacked position. Since nobody was watching me, I was really abusing the SIGs. So in all, it was just enough to like jump over the hurdle for a little bit, and eventually I made it. Now Zinker, dude, This guy is so. This guy back then was like such a nightmare. I still have a losing record against him. I'm not really a fan of Koji matchups overall, but for top 32, this was extremely important to me because I was trying to make it to the money as quickly as possible. And the reason for that is because since it's so much lower nowadays, or it's just significantly lower to get prepared for like year 10, I need to at least like find myself in a position where I'm like, okay, let me just get ready, let me just get into the money, and I'll be able to play better, or like I'll at least be able to like feel better, assuming all goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that goes on. I fight against Zinker, and turns out this guy's play style is the complete same. He has like a set play style that's just they're relatively simple. Game 2 almost wasn't the case. He usually plays like really by the books, and it's I can't tell if it's desperate or if it's like too ambitious, but it just makes him go for like too many breathers that keep him in the air. His recoveries are always high and always desperate, and whenever he tries to close out his stock, it usually ends up with him it just ends up with him like falling to his death. Not really the greatest thing you want to do. So that was that. Now I was keeping tabs in on some of my friends, and Anime and Flower 123. This is it's very unfortunate, at least from like the way the interaction went. From what I was told, anyways, it's just overall like middle. Now, Stinger over Seabass. I'm not. Man, I'm lucky. So, I had a Demon top 32, which is chill, but point is like I have to like I'm really climbing out of here, but the trade-off for that is I'm just way more warm than I would be normally. So it's just a good interaction overall. It made top 32. Now, me versus Stingray. I was not supposed to, bro. I was sparring this guy for what would be considered a good like week or two. No, not even a couple weeks. I'm not gonna lie. This definitely went on for like a month. Like this whole interaction went on for a month. What we would do is, since we were both playing new characters, we would usually just spar and like really maximize what we had about our characters. We had arguments before where it was like, if you really want to like move further into the game and like avoid getting in the position where we're like where we're constantly like stressed out about like new picks and like our picks going into the tournaments, we have to start playing more broken versions of similar weapons. And the reason for that is because it's not that Orion is bad or Kaya is bad, but when we fight against people who are constantly like swapping to the next best pick or the next top legend, we have to get well adjusted as well. If we don't, then we're gonna lose. Or if we don't, we're just making this harder for ourselves, as if that's what we want. I don't really want to be a low tier god forever. I want to be able to maximize the mechanics of what I play. But when your scythe is just a little bit underdeveloped, and you also don't believe in yourself in the middle of a set, and you don't close in on the opponent, and your on hit is just super blurry, while this guy has just got it completely recited. I'm not gonna lie, like if there's anybody who knows how to lock in and sell at the same time, it's literally Stingray. So in all, he got me. Game 3 was like a small like idea of like what I was looking for, but it didn't last forever. Even though I wish it lasted a bit longer, because I was just overall very, very not into it. And I mean, hey, I'll take the defeat, I guess. It's just like I just need to really consider like what's at stake when I do things like this, or like when I'm starting to like develop like these little mental hurdles that just tell me that I can't do it. Same way with Java. Java's performance was actually pretty. It was like a little stagnant at first, but he actually did pretty good. Eat my onions, by the way. I did not think this is real. I couldn't even imagine like Eat My Onions would have such a blowout performance, but it really started when he beat Hardy. I didn't even think that would be possible. I knew he was good. I just didn't know he'd have a blowout performance now. You know what I'm saying? So now we're here. But look, he's playing Zariel. Java's completely like migrated from sword and hammer to orb and spear. And the whole point of that is to really make it easier for himself. The Enlight side 6 string that he had on Dusk was so nuts. And I did BO5 him like a couple days before, and I won 3-2. And I think I won like last stock like light yellow. But I felt ready. I honestly did feel ready for this part of for this section of the bracket. I just don't really. I have a better idea of like where it went wrong. I'm just upset that I got here. Now, me versus Flower. I'm not gonna lie. This is like the part of the tournament where I've gotten iced out for like maybe like 20 minutes. I didn't mind because Flower's my friend, right? You guys already know him. He's already been on my videos. But he had like huge like router issues throughout the game. And throughout game 1 and game 2, he would just reset for what felt like 20 minutes. He'd come back in, and then we'd start playing again. Now, I was playing extremely sloppy because I knew exactly why I lost after, and as a result, I'm just like completely fizzed out from just playing normally. Like I mentioned before, like online is much harder because you have a lot more time to think to yourself. You can't just hang out with your friends after the bracket's over. So when I'm met with this, I don't even want to really play anymore. Or like I'm just completely clocked out. Realistically, I'm just clocked out. Like by this time, I'm just like more so disappointed that I didn't progress as far as I did. So I start to stagnate, I start to rush the game, and this is what made me lose game 3 on a really big scale. But thankfully, Flower was just about as crashed out as I was, but there was one person in particular who really did not let me have it, which was Alex. Now, I was actually doing really good during this set. Game 5, I also had a lead, but I threw it away because I was scared. And the last thing you're supposed to do is give away stage against an Axe player. This is just absolute poison to look at, cause like you can feel losses immediately, bro. Game 1, I just got I got 2 stocked like easily. Taros is like such a big deal right now, and I don't think I didn't want to handle another one, but I handled another one. And the thing is, I'm playing Moonin, bro. Like, I should be able to handle this matchup pretty clearly. I was just completely, like, out of it. And I know why. Like, at least I know why now. And game 2, I extended with Scythe a lot. And that was just, like, my reason for winning. Game 3, we go on APOC, and he confirmed me in a place where I didn't think he'd actually do it. Like, there's a lot of, oh, there's no way he does this. But he does it, and then I lose. I lose the interaction. Like he goes to the ground pound when I don't think he'll actually do it, even though he's done it like 4 times in a row, or he's anticipated it 4 times in a row, or he gets ready for it 4 times in a row. I just don't adapt to it, and unfortunately, that's a really bad decision to make when the whole point of the game is to only anticipate what your opponent throws out, and I refuse to do that. And then game 3, I extended with bow for the most part, or game 4, I'm sorry. I extended with bow for the most part because I had it like handed to me the most, and Alex was also playing a lot of axe. And as you know, the bow versus axe matchup is usually completely dominant in bow's favor, so it's just free game, right? And then game 5, I had a lead, but it led into just like a last stock white scenario where he won. I just got completely fended off, and I know why I lost, but oh my god. I was completely crashed out. Now in total, I understand why I lost. Like, if I want to improve, I can, and I will, because I refuse to be one of the players who don't stick around for long. And I mean, hey, like somebody was talking about this with me. If there's anything I can be grateful for, at least, it's that my first other pick that isn't Kaya, I make 13th with. That's actually pretty huge, considering that my Kaya is like level 500. And it's just like chill. Like I can attest to that. Like that's fine. It also turns out that, by the way, for the record, Shotgun, who I knocked out pretty early, still really like clawed his way out of bracket, and he made 13th as well. So like that was insane progress. Balloon Boy, who I said to look out for, is currently on the blowout performance in top 8. I just need to be able to replicate the same thing, and I'm sure I'll be able to.